A data scientist is not a data analyst. A data scientist is not a database administrator. A data scientist is not a business intelligence expert. A data scientist is not a data engineer. Neither is a data scientist a machine learning engineer or a data visualization engineer. Hi guys, welcome back to Data Rants. Today I have a very interesting topic to talk about. And the topic is, what does a data scientist do? As a data scientist, I get this question a lot of times, either from my peers or from enthusiasts that want to step into the field of data science. And the question is, what do you do in your day-to-day job? Answering this question most of the time, it's somewhat a bit difficult because as a data scientist, what I tend to do differs based on different organizations that I'm working with and I'm working for. So the answers I normally give to that question actually varies on who's asking and what I'm doing at that particular point in time. However, today I'm going to try to give a very detailed answer to that same exact question. But before I get to answer the question, there are some things I just want to state. Everyone in the data science field is not a data scientist. I need to emphasize this a lot and a lot of times again, because most people feel once you're working with data, you are basically a data scientist. And I want to clarify that a data scientist is just a discipline in the data science field, as there are other disciplines also. So before diving into what a data scientist does in his day-to-day job, I want to critically state what a data scientist is not. A data scientist is not a data analyst. A data scientist is not a database administrator. A data scientist is not a business intelligence expert. A data scientist is not a data engineer. Neither is a data scientist a machine learning engineer or a data visualization engineer. I had to clarify that because people mistake a data scientist for several other things. However, it doesn't mean that a data scientist doesn't get to do the things that these other people do. But a data scientist's task is not just limited to the tasks of the already stated disciplines. I will also want to add that what a data scientist does in his day-to-day job actually differs based on the organization that the data scientist is working for. If a data scientist is actually working for a startup, a data scientist will do tasks that cut across the entire data science cycle, which might have tasks that have to do with data engineering, data analysis, data visualization, and even machine learning engineering. Now, that does not uniquely define what a data scientist should do. It only varies based on organization. Like if you're in a more structured or a larger organization, then the tasks of a data scientist will most likely, to an extent, be streamlined, because in such a large organization, they may have data engineers, they may have machine learning engineers, they may have data analysts. So the role of a data scientist in that firm organization actually differs from the role of a data scientist who is working for a startup. Also, researches have been done, and most data scientists tend to say that 80% of their time is being invested into data engineering tasks, while 20% is used to do other data science related tasks. Now, this is very normal. It is not strange, however, because there are a lot of data that needs to be worked on, and then we don't have enough skill set to work on the data. So we don't have like enough data engineers to work on the data cleaning and the data transformation. So it tends to be that data scientists are also invested into data engineering so that the data can be made ready for analysis, and then it's being pushed either to the data scientists to continue from there. But we have petabytes of data that is coming in on daily basis, and we don't have enough skills to be able to do the engineering part. So that's why most data scientists spend most of their time transforming, working on the data to make it to be in the format that is necessary to be used for the other data science tasks. So to the focus of the day, what does a data scientist do? I'm going to group this into 5 different steps, and then I'm going to detail on it one after the other. So the first one is a data scientist asks questions. Now, the question that is being asked by a data scientist is very necessary because this is what will determine the entire process that follows. Data scientists tend to ask questions based on what they've seen that is happening in the business. Now, there are 2 ways these questions could come. These questions could come from the organization because they've noticed repeated pattern in whatsoever data that they have, and then they tend to ask why this is happening and if something can be improved upon. So the questions can come from the business directly to the data scientist, or secondly, the data scientist can figure out questions based on what he has also seen from the data. This works better when the data scientist has the domain knowledge in the field that he is currently working on. So once that domain knowledge is available, he is most likely to ask questions that hit directly to the business, and that will be a starting point for the data scientist's task. This initial step of asking the question, most data scientists tend to work with business analysts because they understand the business end properly, while the data scientists have the data to work with. So once they have like a proper synergy, they tend to ask the right questions and they begin to solve the business challenges using data. The number 2 step is get the data. After asking the question, the next thing is to find answers to the question. And as a data scientist, what you use to derive answers to your question is data. So you need to get the data that will be necessary to answer the question that is being asked. Now, just like the saying, data is the new oil. To answer the question as a data scientist, what you need is the right data, not just any form of data. So attention is being paid to this particular step because you need to look through to get the right data that will fit into the question that is being asked. Now, in this particular step, the data scientist works with the data engineer to look for the right data from different data sources and most likely to transform the data into a format that can be used for proper analysis. So the data scientist basically works with the data engineer to ensure that the right data is gotten from the right data source and the data is being transformed into the proper format, and not just being transformed, but it's also loaded somewhere that can be easily accessible to the data scientist. So to step 3, which is explore the data. Now that the data is gotten, we have halfway gone in the problem solving because we have the right tools to work with, which most importantly is the data. So we have to explore the data. We need to look deep into the data. As a data scientist, you need to be able to find the trends, you need to be able to find the patterns, and then to be able to make some accurate recognition in the data that points directly to the question that is being asked. So much effort is put into the data exploration step to ensure that the right features are gotten from the data, and those features will be appropriate enough to answer the question that is at hand. In this particular step, the data scientist partners with the data analyst, and then they go through the data critically, pick trends, find patterns, and then get insights from this data. And then this insight gotten is very, very important as it is directly applied in the next step that follows. So in this step, the data scientist doesn't just work with the data analyst. The data scientist also works with business intelligence experts that assist in digging deep into the data to get the right insights. So step number 4 is model the data. Now, insights, patterns, and trends have been seen and have been derived from the previous step, which had to do with exploring the data. Now, you model the data based on these insights that have been gotten from the data. Now, modeling the data helps you to build a kind of what is known as a data model that is being used to be able to make predictions in the future based on data that is being gotten. In this step, machine learning engineers assist the data scientists in ensuring that the model building is done accurately, and they also go furthermore to help in the deployment of the model for production purposes. So this step is also very important because this is where machine learning actually comes in. So it could either be like a supervised learning or an unsupervised learning, but at the end, a model is being built, and this model can be used to make predictions ahead of the future, and those predictions must be in line with the question that has been asked right from step 1. And then to the fifth and the final step, which is communication of results. Now, all of these have been done, but the results that have been gotten needs to be communicated. And the way the result is being communicated is also very important, because if it is communicated wrongly, then the wrong advice will be taken into the business, which might not directly answer the question in the right way or might lead to negative impact, which is not what the data scientist wants to achieve. During this step, the data visualization engineer's role is also very important, as he assists the data scientist to ensure that whatever is being presented is presented in a clear and simple manner that can be easily understood and applied to the business without any form of clutter. Now, in the field of data science, data storytelling is also very important. And it is in this part of communicating the result that data storytelling comes in, because your data should be able to tell a story right from when you got the data to the patterns, to the trends that you found in the data and the solution that you're proposing for the business. All of this must be able to tell a very lucrative story that will be bought and applied by the business. So data storytelling is also a very important skill that is actively utilized when you're trying to communicate the results that you get from your analysis. Just like you've heard the steps that I've listed, which tends to be what a data scientist actually does in his day-to-day job, you would notice that the data scientist does not work alone. The data scientist partners with several other disciplines in the data science field to ensure that the job is done accurately and in the right way it is supposed to be. This is why most people tend to confuse the role of a data scientist to several other disciplines that are found in the data science field, because they tend to partner with several other people to ensure that the work is done. But those things don't necessarily define a data scientist. What a data scientist does is in those 5 steps that I have listed. Now, this might vary based on companies, just like I earlier stated, but these are the primary things that a data scientist focuses on. All right, so I believe this has been helpful, and I'm looking forward to doing similar videos that will talk about what other data science disciplines do in their day-to-day job, talking about data analysts, data engineers, machine learning engineers, and you wouldn't want to miss any of those videos when they come up. So all you need to do is just to click the subscribe button and ensure that the bell icon is ticked so you'll be notified once a new video drops. Thank you once again for having time to listen to me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.